everyone. Thank you for being here today. We're super excited that we've made it to New York. Like he said, my name is Lauren, and I'm co-founder and part of the FreshTemp team. At FreshTemp, we improve the way commercial kitchens collect all data, from daily temperatures to staff operational tasks, using that something most of us constantly carry, our cell phones. Ooh. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, bar, or pizza shop, I'm sure you have very fond memories of filling out your daily checklists on an old clipboard. Well, not much has changed. The food industry relies on outdated technology to collect the information of tasks and temperatures that are required by the government. FreshTemp replaces the outdated pen and paper way of collecting all of this data using quick, smart technology, which is a Bluetooth thermometer, a mobile application, and a cloud platform. And this all digitizes the temperature and operational task lists in real time. So our CEO, Jeff, is unable to be here this week. He's out with customers getting FreshTemp rolling, so you guys are stuck listening to me. But he got this all started back at the Media Lab at MIT when he developed a really innovative low-power sensing network, really the first of its kind. The lab has a venture mentor program, and they connected us with a few restaurants, including Wendy's. That's where we really saw the opportunity to improve the food safety issues and the temperature logging issues that are seen in these restaurants using our technology. But like most startups, we had no money, and that didn't deter us. We built a website, we put our idea out there, and we saw a really cool response. Shortly after, a lot of the big players like McDonald's, Subway, and Shake Shack reached out. And at that point, we weren't even a defined company, but we saw the inspiration and the motivation to change this industry. We got to work in Pittsburgh and have spent the last 2 years developing the tech and all the devices that go along into the integrated FreshTemp system. Cell phones and mobile devices are pretty popular, increasingly so in the food industry, sorry. With FreshTemp, we use wireless thermometers and mobile applications to automate much of what was previously done in the commercial kitchen. While there are other temperature logging apps out there, we are the first one of its kind to focus on the food industry, and we combine the digital temperature recording along with the task management and remote oversight. Our system is comprised of 2 interdependent sensors. We have the Fresh Probe and the Fresh Sense, and those link with the FreshTemp app, which is a mobile application for employees. All of that syncs with the Fresh Cloud. So to go into a little more detail, the Fresh Probe, is a Bluetooth thermometer, and it's used to probe food. So if you have a buffet or food line, you can instantly read those temperatures and digitally record them. They are also date and time stamped and totally tamper-proof. Then there's Fresh Sense, and that is a wireless temperature sensor, and that is meant for spaces. So if you have a fridge or a freezer or just an ambient space that you want to record that temperature 24/7, that's what Fresh Sense will do. Now, both of those devices, like I said, link with the FreshTemp app, and we've developed that for iOS and Android. Now, if you're a manager of a restaurant, you want to be able to check in to see that all this data is being collected, and you would do that on the Fresh Cloud. Now, that is a cloud reporting platform that you can access anywhere from at any time in real time. It also sends instant alerts, so if something costly or dangerous is happening, you will immediately be notified and you can resolve that issue right away. It's a great time to be in this industry and use connected devices and systems to really disrupt the food industry. We want to change the way that temperature and data collection is approached. And it also doesn't hurt that there are tons of investors out there interested in the Internet of Things that we happen to fall into perfectly. We also aren't the only ones who want to disrupt this outdated industry. The US government is heavily involved through programs and preventative controls like HACCP and the Food Safety Modernization Act. With the FSMA, the FDA wants to impose tighter food safety regulations on our nation's food system. The biggest motion that they want to complete is taking all these tedious paper records and converting them to accessible electronic records. With our technology, commercial kitchens will have certainty in the face of an audit to know that they are accessing the appropriate records that are accurate and true. Imagine being in, say, Brooklyn, when you own 5 restaurants out in San Francisco. You want to be able to check in to make sure that all of the tasks for that day are being completed and that all the temperatures throughout your facility are as they should be. With FreshTemp, you get that security. And if something were to be wrong or incomplete, you immediately receive a notification. We are bringing together technology and food to change the way the food industry approaches data collection, temperature monitoring, and team management. We're here to share FreshTemp with everyone. We're a young company. We really want to put ourselves out there. It's not a matter of who is going to adopt FreshTemp, but simply a matter of when. Thank you, and I would love to carry on the FreshTemp conversation.
Excellent. Thank you, Lauren.
Humidity control and sensors for that.
Can you say it one more time,
sorry.
please?
Do you also have humidity control sensors?
Humidity controls, not yet. That has been something that has been requested often, so we've been considering it and working on it, but at this time we do not.
Up here, I can grab you.
Can you share a little bit about your revenue model and cost per consumer? And stuff like
Sure, so we're really designed for the restaurant industry. Consumers won't be using the product as so much as reaping the benefits of it. We want to make sure that these restaurants and commercial kitchens are as safe as they can possibly be. So for a restaurant, it sort of depends on how much it's going to cost. We do a subscription. So if you are a smaller facility that, say, only has 2 fridges or freezers and you won't need the fresh probe, it's going to be a much smaller cost per month. But if you're a much larger facility and you're using all of the resources like the app and the probe, it costs more. Right now, it's anywhere between like $20 and $80 per month. Oh.
Other way. There you go. Okay, hands up. Down there, yep.
Can you talk about the task management component and how customizable that is?
Yeah, I'd love to. So that's kind of my favorite part of our application. We have a totally customizable task management portion. We were approached by a pretty big named company that has tons and tons of franchises across the country, and that's what they needed. They needed something totally customizable because each restaurant would be serving different specials, different seasonal things, and we wanted to make sure that we could do that. And the way that you can change that and customize it is through Fresh Cloud. And that's the computer portion of it, the cloud system. And if you want, I have my computer out there so you guys can play around and sort of build tasks, build task groups. You can set the temperatures that you need. And the task types we have are ranging. So you can do value input, word input, read the Fresh Probe or Fresh Sense. Really, if you need it, we've been able to develop a way to put it in there.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you. Great presentation. 2 quick questions.
Thank you.
Do you all, I know you said you're primarily for restaurant industry. Do you all plan to work for, like somebody presented earlier, the K-12 school kitchens and cafeterias? And most of the non-commercial food service is probably a hunting ground for all temperature, related issues and, foodborne illness and things like that. Number 2, what about the cold chain? Like, do you have the capability to expand on the cold chain and the supply chain part of the refrigerated trucks, for example?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, when we started, like I said, we were approached by Wendy's, so they kind of set the tone for us. But, I wish I could show you guys my emails. I get inquiries every day from people across the board. We get pharmaceutical inquiries, entire supply chain inquiries. So we're not limiting ourselves. We love the food industry and we're focusing on the food industry right now, but if the opportunity is there to build, we'll probably try to figure out a way to do so. And then with the cold supply chain, we do have a product. It's called the Data Logger, and you would throw it in a truck or throw it in food that's traveling on a truck, and it's able to communicate and update that information pretty frequently. This is sort of our big dog, so I wanted to show them off, but we do have something for that system.
Do you create the tasks, or do you rely on the restaurants to create the tasks themselves?
So what we've been doing up until this point is we get the specific restaurants' task logs, like their big, thick binders and checklists, and we've been doing the work, kind of like the legwork for them. but it's such an easy-to-use system that I'm pretty sure anyone could take their papers and upgrade them, or excuse me, upload them onto the site. So it's sort of two-way. We do it right now, but that's just because we're so small. But it's set up so that really anyone can handle it.
But you don't tell them what.
No, we don't dictate what these restaurants should be doing. There's government standards for that. So we just give them the platform to make sure that they are as safe as they can be.
Mike?
Do you have any direct competitors now? And if not, do you have identified the barriers to entry for someone else to do this?
I'm so sorry, I only heard the first part of that question.
If you have any direct competitors right now?
Yes and no. There are a few companies out there that are targeting the food industry that have temperature monitoring apps, but they don't have that whole extra portion where they're doing the data checklists, and they don't have the hand probe that we have. So we're a little bit more involved and a little more extensive. And then was there a second
And
part?
have you identified what the barriers to entry are for someone else who wants to enter your space?
Yeah, it's a lot of the tech. So like I said, Jeff developed the low power sensing network, and it's ours. That's what we have. If someone else wanted to try and create that, it would take a heck of a lot of work on their end. I mean, someone could create the app, but to create all the components and put it together as we have in such a seamless system would be pretty difficult.
All right, we're officially out of time.
Well, thank you,
Lauren
guys.
Brock, FreshTemp.